During 1857, a more extensive mining settlement was established when Raja Abdullah Khan and Raja Juma'at brought in a contingent of Chinese tin miners from Luku. Tin was discovered at the confluence of the Klang and Gombak rivers. During the late 19th century, the township began to boom. Regulations were introduced, buildings were constructed using brick and tiles, pipe waters and road systems were introduced, and multiple public amenities and religious buildings were constructed. During the late 19th century to early 20th century, the tin town transformed to capital city. Kuala Lumpur established itself as one of the main urban settlements in Malaya and was designated as the administrative capital of the Federal Malay States. Significant civic buildings and infrastructure projects were completed during this time. Population increased and diversification of ethnicity and businesses happened. 20th century, the city developed away from the river and coal. Motor transportation and rail system take over totally the function of river. Kuala Lumpur became the federal territory. Modernization and development of new centralities on the outskirts started. Early 21st century to present, riverbank was concreted, transforming the form of natural banks to monsoon drain line. With completion of major projects across Greater Kuala Lumpur, the population and development spread away from the historical core. Major commuter rail project recently completed, and city improvement plans such as the River of Life is planned to improve the livability of the historical core area. On the west bank is the institutional district, situating here are the heritage building which formerly housed the government offices. On the east bank is the Petaling Street Precinct Heritage Quadrant, which housed mixed-use commercial activities and may also include cultural spaces of religious temples, gallery, and museum. On the west bank, many of the heritage buildings formerly used as government administrative offices sit vacant in need of repurpose to the benefit of public. A couple of them has been transformed as museum and gallery. Commercial activities dominate the east bank, such as retail offices, wholesale, restaurant, and cafes. Many of the former government offices' heritage buildings are simply left unused for more than decades. The failure to repurpose the content of the building has left an apathetic sentiment of the people about the awareness of them. This has reduced belongingness of people toward the district. Traditional traits are the legacy of intangible heritage. They form and display the special character of a society. According to the traditional traits mapping, 20% are related to textile or tailoring, 90% of food and drinks, and 9% are grocery and wholesalers. They show a general decline of these traditional traits, which indicate losses of a district character and the cultural memories. Global notes of cultural and architectural significance frequent by tourists mostly. Local notes are for daily usage and working purposes. Tourists and the locals seldom cross paths to have meaningful interaction and exchange. Introduction of new cultural experience center with complementing programs that benefit both the locals and tourists, bring life and help rejuvenate the district. The site has high permeability and accessibility with various transportation infrastructure nearby. However, due to the main activities to the site are for running errands, working purposes, and many vacant buildings, it is hard to attract interest of people. The walking distances from the surrounding car park to the site are within the acceptable ordinary daily situations. However, the design of a basement car park can make up for the insufficient car parking arise from the increased user in the area. On the west, the two-way road of Jalan Sultan Hisamuddin is the main traffic road. On the east, Klang River forming the natural barrier, both running parallel to the site. The facade of Dayabumi Agrobank and National Textile Museum act as the edges, creating a sense of enclosure to the site. The site also sits at the intersection of two district edges. The cultural experience centers respond to the cultures on the two districts. The regulations require a building setback of 12 meters at front and 6 meters at side and back. Built-up area 50% or less of the site area in the case of freestanding building. Plot ratio maximum of 5 floors. Typical traffic congestions at rush hour are found at the major vehicular circulation and their converging junction, as well as the joining of the secondary road back to the main circulation. It is suggested that the pick-up and drop-off set back in from front road to avoid traffic congestion along the main road, and the entry point into the basement car park be placed at the side road to dissipate the concentration of traffic along main road and one-way exit pattern back to the main road. Visual landmarks stand out due to the height and scale, such are the Dayabumi, Post Malaysia, and Maybank Tower. Historical landmarks are the spatial mark of memory, value in historical prominence, such are the Masjid Jamid, Sultan Abu Sabah Building, Kwanti Temple, and Sri Mahamaram Temple. Cultural landmarks possess cultural significance and indicate the identity of the community, such are the National Textile Museum, Sin Si Siye Temple, Central Market, Castry Walk, and Petaling Street. These landmark buildings are part of the identity of a tangible legacy asset. Visual character from the ancient heritage building can be taken into design consideration for the Cultural Experience Center to produce an innovative and harmonic style that pay homage to the heritage. Historical and cultural buildings tend to be low in height. The newer Edison structure tends to be towering for functional purposes. Intimate and comfortable pedestrian experience can be found at the commercial district due to the human scale building. The walking experience at the institutional district is intimidating due to the large and inhuman scale building. At the site, random high-scale buildings are scattered within the low structures, forming a disparity of persistence. Form of adjacent buildings display a sudden change from horizontal building form to vertical building form. Design of the central style respond to the existing skyline to prevent overpowering the heritage building. It is suggested that the building mass messed up of multiple smaller volumes, creating a sense of friendliness and intimacy of building, but the overall mass of it conforms to the former and stately neighboring buildings. Pedestrians reach the site via parade and bus station, thereafter dispersing from the primary roads onto secondary roads used by workers and shop owners. At noon, pedestrians approach the in-between spaces occupied by street food vendors such as Kasturi Walk, Petaling Street, or other pedestrian path for lunch. In the evening, the street life concentrating at Petaling Street after the working hours, the Taman Merdeka used by public for recreational purposes. The lack of optional activities available as in Kasturi Walk and Petaling Street, the institutional district is dominated by working and tourism purposes. The deprivation of shelter in between spaces to accommodate social activity for pedestrians make it less preferable to attract users. The in-between voids are insignificant to welcome the user toward the riverside. Visual corridor and linkages from the roadside toward the riverside are not well formed. This could reduce the usage along the river corridor. The big open spaces between the building expose the site to be in almost all the sun path. Lack of shading by adjacent structures increase the solar radiation received. The prevailing wind to site come from east-northeast, southwest, and south directions, average throughout the year. To facilitate connectivity across site, from pedestrian movement to engagement, visual corridor shall be formed. Building mass with permeability allowing visual connection between the main road and the riverside. Spatial permeability at the ground floor space allowing easy movement to the riverside from the main entrance and vice versa. Multiple building accesses shall be made to welcome the user from different directions with a sense of arrival. Partly shaded space for outdoor event at the riverside of building, creating a suitable leisure space. Spillage of activities from building complements with future riverside recreation park. In spatial planning, active spaces shall be placed at the front to animate the street scene. Passive spaces at the back or upper levels buffer from traffic, allowing more quiet atmosphere and reduce disturbances from the entering and exiting. Climatic response shall optimize the capture of prevailing wind, wavelength form, and shading of direct sunlight. The west side has more vegetation density and the in-between spaces for individual buildings, whereas the east has high building density, left scant spaces for vegetation. The front of the site are devoid of shade tree to prevent the blocking of heritage building. More shade tree can be found at the back of the site along the river, provide shading to the public. Possible strategy to include the greeneries as part of the architectural design to reduce the heat build-up and creating the thermal comfort for building. In line with the city vision, to use art as a medium and catalyst for city upgrade and redevelopment, promote an aesthetic lifestyle and the public space that ultimately benefit urban community. Changde is a medium-sized modern city with rich cultural and thriving industrial economy. Meantime, cultural and spiritual development is seen capable of influencing the economy. Building new city with injection of collective memory. Inspired by the shimmering quality of the Rain River and the indigenous rooftop craftsmanship, the architect used flat setting aluminum cladding modules to create an animating envelope effect from various viewing angles and daylight conditions. Programs houses such as the exhibition and event space to educate the public about the Changde City Development Plan, strengthening public awareness about city they live. A sand art gallery is at the central atrium, act as a circulation space for artist gallery, event, and social exchange. Exploring the gallery is like a stroll through the town in vertical fashion, encountering different activities and interaction along the way. The Kids Education Center helped to expose artistic culture in the young mind of Changde. It aimed to propose artistic culture by inspiring and engaging the young. In spatial planning, the active space are placed at the front to animate the street scene. Passive space look at the back to reduce disturbance from the traffic at the front for users to have a peaceful environment for exhibition. The ground floor design has high accessibility to engage the pedestrian from front, side, and back of the building, all converging to the central exhibition and event space. Services with direct access from side and back to avoid obstruction along the main circulation. Multimedia exhibition space at gallery are placed at the lower floor for general public usage. Kid Education Center are placed at a higher level to provide a conducive learning environment. The topmost floor are for the reading purposes to lessen disturbances from the active social activities. The central atrium allows visual connectivity form between spaces, stimulating curiosity and encourage visitor movement throughout the building, thus stimulating liveliness and creating a micro-community within the building. The re-establishing of cultural nodes which promote positive artistic culture help rejuvenate the city, with its activity complementing the growing creative community and brings forward the economic opportunity. How does it relate to KL site? The node could attract the interest of people and bring life to the once disinterested district, which in turn could boost the commercial opportunity for the neighboring area. A virtuous cycle could be formed between the cultural and commercial symbiosis. Singkawan community is diverse, from mostly by Tionghoa, Dayak, and Layu. This diversity enriches Singkawan with abundant art and culture. The trend of cultural decline is due to the younger generation prefer to move outside of Singkawan to seek a better life. In response, a new node that consolidates Singkawan culture by turning an almost inactive cinema in the city into a cultural center that promotes the culture and art of Singkawan heritage. It continues the original function of the cinema while adding new functions catering the growing community needs, a space that creates new memory for the young while connecting them to the past. There are multiple outdoor spaces offering the choices for the user according to the level of privacy intended, be it in intimate courtyard, exposed front yard, or the quiet backyard. Interaction between the void spaces and the solid masses create a balanced spatial experience. The town area building generally have low profiles. The height of the central blends well into the town general height profile, preserving harmonious pattern. The dialogue between the cultural center is extended to the town street. Open spaces at the front as informal public square whereby outdoor eating and event can carry out. The opening up of activities to the surrounding context animated the street scene and attract the townspeople. In recent years, apart from the more formal public cultural spaces, there are a rising trend of private creative venues in the historical core area. The newly opened Zhongshan building has been repurposed as a creative hub, is indicative of the growing creative hub and spaces in Kuala Lumpur. The three-story interconnected shophouses dates back to 1950s, that once housed the Zhongshan Association for the Clans People and later a frozen food supplier. It has become a meeting place for artists and entrepreneurs. Houses exhibitions, a tailor, barista, vintage music store, research center, and several libraries. Various trades is gathered under one roof and supporting each others. By the sharing of spaces is financially help the artists and forming a thriving creative communities. The resulting impact are more customers are attracted here, profit of artists grow, allowing the artists to expand. Other creative industry have started following its footsteps. Artists and the people are once again interested in coming back to the downtown Kuala Lumpur. About one-fifth of the business type at the area are textile-related industry, including the traditional textile trade. The National Textile Museum showcases the collection of local textile, which is part of our rich cultural heritage. However, the visitors are only able to learn the heritage passively. About an interactive textile learning experience for the public, also as a creative hub for individual and collective artists with entrepreneurship that promotes sustainable textile production process.